Brendan, congratulations on this film. As per usual, you were brilliant in the role of Tommy. How does it work for you these days? Do you have to still audition for roles, or do the scripts just land on your desk?
No, generally it has to do with availability, and then if, I generally don't, I think the work generally can speak for itself at this point, and it's you're either right or you're not. So if they want to take the chance on what they've seen so far. So it's good in a way. In another way, it probably limits all the things that you never got a chance to audition for. But I generally would get a script sent, and if the time was right and the people were right and the whole thing was right, well, then we take it from there.
Well, I think you're always a good chance. If I was a director, I'd be getting you on my film. But have you ever been surprised at whose radars you're on? Because, these scripts land on your desk and you're going, wow, how do you know about me?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. But the business is quite small. It's a bit of a village in a way. So if you get regular work, after a while you kind of know that you're there and there. The first thing I kind of realised when I went over to LA first was that they're encyclopedic in their knowledge of film. They get a lot of bad press about all the guys who are out there all, shooting around in sports cars and all that. But actually they're mad film buffs. Most of the people who work in the industry there, the young executives, like 21 years old, and they know every film going back to 1932. And it's kind of like, it was a little bit, for me, an eye-opener. So they're very thorough in the way that they kind of do their research and they follow up. So I suppose it becomes less of a surprise when you appear. And it's always great to know that somebody likes you, though. That's different, or wants to work with you. That's a different thing.
Well, it must have been great working with Ben Affleck, but he not only played your son, he was then also your boss on set. How does that affect dynamics when you're working with someone who's not just your co-star?
Well, I did Braveheart years ago, so I kind of did early on. I saw that dynamic happening, and it's really about separation. You separate your roles. I mean, even with John Boorman, he had written something and then he'd direct it and then he'd be in the editing room. So you have, people wear different hats in their different roles. And it didn't really, what I found with Ben was that his preparation and his kind of vision was so clear. And he was working with Bob Richardson, who's an amazing DP. And they had a great sort of a relationship going on, so that everything felt, there was plenty of space that was made to go in and just do what we had to do when we got in, and he'd sit in. It was great. We just made space for it, and I suppose it's what we do anyway, is to hop from one role to another.
Yeah, well, talking about hopping from one role to another, we all know your story. You were a teacher, 10 years in, you just went, I'm going to take a career change, right? So many people at the moment are stuck in jobs that they like but they don't love, and they're too scared to take that jump. How did you go, no, I'm going to do it? And most importantly, how did you back yourself? Because that's what we're scared to do.
Well, I did a lot before I jumped. Like, I was involved in a theatre company called The Passion Machine, who were putting on a lot of, plays and things like that were going on and going out to bigger audiences all the time. So, like, by the time I went, I'd been in the Olympia for, like, weeks and weeks and weeks on end. I mean, I think we did one 20-week run where we're, in front of 1,100 people, whatever it is, 1,200 people. So in a way, the thing is to do it. And then if it forces you into a place where you say, look, you have to make a choice, then I began to realise I had to make a choice. Well, then you feel you're at the place where you're going to back yourself anyway. Obviously, I had a spouse that was quite understanding too, so that was always a help.
That's always important. And then your sons turn around and go, Dad, we're going into this industry. You know the highs, but you also know the lows. What were your concerns for Domhnall and Brian?
Just to keep the spirit alive and keep the morale up, and it's the bobbing and weaving that's the hard bit. I wasn't worried about them in terms of talent. I was worried about them in terms of just, it's a war. You have to kind of continue on despite everybody throwing the muck at you or just ignoring you, basically, which is the worst thing. And you learn your craft. You have to keep trying to pick up ways of doing it. And you have to make ways of doing it. That's basically the only advice I'd ever give to anybody, is just do it, fundamentally. So yeah, I mean, you're always worried about the way the next turn the road is going to take. But I think they knew from watching me that it wasn't all plain sailing, so that was a help.
Awards season is about to kick in. You've won many awards. How important are they to you?
It's nice to get a little clap in the back. It's an odd situation. They're bonuses. That's the way I'd put it.
And finally, how much fun is it being a part of a gangster film?
Great, brilliant. That's, as they say, that's the prize.
Brendan, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Cheers, thanks a million.
Thanks a million.